Hi, you're very welcome to the Filum Show. Mike Sheridan joined by Dean Malumbi and Brian Lloyd. But screw you guys. Producer Dave is back.
Deadpan Dave, back in the saddle.
I'm home, everyone.
We tried to get Charlotte Reed, who does a phenomenal job every week with the show. She did the producer Dave job for the past few weeks while you were off gallivanting or wherever you were doing down in Cork way.
And a
Did
great
you
job
see-
But
you
she
did.
wouldn't tell. Charlotte wouldn't. She didn't want to be. She's low key. She didn't want to be heard nor seen.
Did you see his?
Like so many women.
Okay.
Sorry, that was really serious. I didn't
I was
mean-
like, are we going somewhere else with this, or?
I was
Okay.
going to just point out the fact that his Instagram was loaded with him in a very tailored suit, with
yes.
with
Very
tails,
snazzy.
with tails,
Yeah.
tails in the suit. Tell you what, slick as
Slick,
shit.
Yeah.
It was.
Thank you. It actually wasn't tailored.
Oh,
Yeah, it was.
you just wear a suit that well.
Oh no, I was.
Maybe he just built his body to fit in the suit.
That's a thing.
Yeah,
I've heard of that.
I was
There you
born a
go.
mannequin.
Right, so you could
With the
just wear.
proportions of a mannequin,
Yeah,
all of them.
as in, yeah. I mean, I'm really opening up to you. Here.
You're like Action Man.
I
Appreciate that.
appreciate if you wouldn't laugh.
Did you miss us?
Yes.
Well, you were here a lot, but you just weren't here on the days that we were recording.
Unfortunately, no. I had a lot of commitments.
And you're a man of many talents. You have to do many things.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. But yeah, I was being pulled in different directions and whatnot. But I'm back now to put you in order.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Appreciate that, Dave.
Yay.
Oh, okay, so it's a deadly one this week, film-wise. Somebody commented on YouTube, film, ha ha ha. But like that's what
That's how we pronounce it.
That's what the show is called as well. So anyway, yeah. So it's a big week this week.
Yeah, big
Star is Born. Myself and Dee have seen that. Brian has seen some of it, and there's a story behind that.
Why is there always
and,
a story?
and also Venom as well, which is a huge one. Both you guys have seen that one. There's an interview with Tom Hardy and Riz Ahmed on site. Super nice guys. And Johnny English, Dee caught up with everybody who ever had anything to do with Johnny English.
Yes.
Ever.
How many interviews did you like? Four interviews?
4. I did. I interviewed Rowan Atkinson, Olga Kurilenko, who people will recognise as the Bond girl from Quantum of Solace.
And Oblivion.
And Oblivion, yes. Ben Miller, who's like kind of known for like British TV comedies and stuff, and David Kerr, the director.
And how did it go? Did you
It
have a
went
good
really
time?
well.
Are you friends now? You always
Yeah.
make friends with people.
Yeah,
Always
I'm
like-
friends with everyone now.
Yeah.
I imagine like Rowan Atkinson is very much. I mean, I know he's completely different from like Mr. Bean and from Johnny English and from all that. I understand that part of it. But
No.
He's
saying,
got that much range.
no, but I'm just saying.
He's
is
not a
in-
mute
no, I know obviously.
nuisance. Like
But what I'm saying is that like he himself is very dignified and he's very like, you know, speaks so well
Yeah.
and he's so just very English.
I know, it's
It's
amazing.
like literally like shits the queen. Like that's how English he is. Like
Yeah, no, it is brilliant, and he's a very bright man. He's much straighter than the
Yeah,
characters
that's
he
sorry,
plays,
straighter,
but
yes.
he's not dull either. He's a great conversation.
big petrol head is Rowan Atkinson. Big petrol head. He's like massive collection of cars, almost like maybe Jay Leno bad.
Well, thanks for that Wikipedia entry on Rowan Atkinson. And the fact that he's an actor, which is amazing as well. He's not like the characters he plays. He acts. He acts.
Well, I mean,
I
it's
know-
like Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool, where does one begin and one start?
Exactly,
So sometimes
that's what I
actors
mean.
are very like the characters they play.
True, and like I mean, like you look at something like Blackadder. Like I was a huge Blackadder fan, and like that kind of sense of like he's able to play oily characters, and then he's able to play very endearing characters, and then he's able to play just Mr. Bean, like which is just.
All right, shut up now, Brian.
All right.
Let's talk about Venom first before we get to A Star is Born. Okay, I said months ago, and it hasn't opened yet. It's opening today.
Today? No, it's opening today.
Yeah, well,
Wednesday.
this will go out Thursday, so and the video will go out on Friday. So we don't know how well it's doing at the box office or how well it's not doing at the box office. But I did say I had a feeling that this one was going to bomb or not do as well as people thought it was going to do because it's quite a muddled trailer, quite a muddled character. It's a horror movie. I think, and look, it mightn't matter. It might have that Marvel stamp on it, and people will go and see it regardless, right? Reviews for this one have been, they're just breaking today and have been horrific. The Hollywood Reporter review went to absolute town on it, and like in the moment, the highlight of it being in the 70th minute or something like that, where Tom Hardy like appears bloated and stressed, and they basically made the observation that he looked like he'd be the perfect man to play Harvey Weinstein, which
I could see it.
I mean, harsh observation all the same. Let's just throw Harvey Weinstein in there, right? Okay, you didn't mind it, Dee, as much as Brian.
Although I will say that I was reading over my notes just before coming on this show. There are a lot of problems with this movie. Like, I just have like note after note after note of like, this seems really off, and like the pacing here is really weird. There are a lot of issues with it. So, I mean, like, I sat through it and I finished it. But
I got there in the end.
Yeah, exactly. But no, there are a lot of problems with it.
Okay, give me some of the problems.
Pacing is all over the place. It seems to drag out the things that it should be just getting through.
Yeah.
And then the more interesting stuff, it just flies through. Like, for example, it takes a lot of time to kind of establish the scene and him as a reporter and his relationship with his girlfriend and Riz Ahmed's character and his motivations. And it's like, okay, this is all the generic superhero crap we've seen dozens and dozens of times. Just get through it, get Venom, get Venom attached to him already. So that just took way too long. And then for the actual like Venom action sequences, stuff was happening so quickly that you couldn't actually register what was going on. So pacing wise, it was all over the place. I thought that performance wise, Tom Hardy did a good job, and that Michelle Williams was pretty good.
But
and
underwritten.
I mean, she was underwritten, but I
She's
mean, that's the
always
problem
underrated.
with
It's disgraceful.
Yeah.
Choice role. She's
But
I
I
know you
mean,
have some
yeah.
from the movie news later, but
yeah,
she's
exactly.
such a good actress.
I mean, female characters in general in superhero movies are very, very wanting, and I think that Rachel McAdams in Doctor Strange, it was just appalling, the character that they gave her in that film. So there have been worse, there have been better. This is somewhere in the middle. She does what she can with the part and everything.
Fanboys on YouTube go, what about Wonder Woman?
Yeah. No, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm
you're
talking
dead
about
right,
like the
I'm
love
playing,
interest.
I'm playing
character.
devil's advocate if devil's advocate's been like a fanboy who's never felt the touch of a woman. But what other problems did I have? Because they're plentiful by the sounds of it.
I mean, special effects wise, it's okay as well. It's
Did you think? I thought it was very cheap
I
looking.
thought it was okay. I thought that the actual like graphics of Venom and the transformation and those kind of bits itself were okay. The ending was kind of a mess.
Yeah.
And how they got there, and then for some reason halfway through the film it decides that it's going to be all kind of self-aware and funny now, even though it was playing it totally straight for the first half of the movie.
Would you reckon it's something a bit meta there, or do you reckon there was reshoots where we need to seem like we're more self-aware, this is too earnest?
It might have been that, but either way, it should have been consistent from the very start if they were going to do one or the other. And I mean, by the end of the film, him and Venom are kind of like buddies, and you can't actually look back on the film and be like, this is the point at which their relationship kind of took a turn. It just happens all of a sudden. So yeah, a lot of problems. I think that I've emphasised that.
The Ruben Fleischer, Ruben Fleischer, and Tom Hardy, whatever, shut up, and Tom Hardy. And Tom Hardy try and do something different here, and it just didn't pay off, or does it just not work?
No, it just doesn't work. I mean, the thing of it is that, like, having seen it now, I think Tom Hardy was a great choice to play Venom. I would love to see a better director take control of the situation and come back with something unique, because I know other people have said it, and you kind of touched on it there as well, but it's the kind of movie that had this been released 15, 16 years ago, it would have been like, oh wow, this was actually pretty decent, this was pretty cool. But like, superhero movies in general have just moved on so much, and they're more kind of in depth. And I'm not even talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm just talking about how they're approached is much more different than it is now. Ruben Fleischer, I think, was a terrible choice as director. Like, you go back and look at Gangster Squad, and we've talked about this before. Gangster Squad had Sean Penn, Josh Brolin, Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone, Nick Nolte. Had a great story.
Nolte.
Nick
What did
I say?
Nolte.
Well, whatever, anyway.
Ha! Got one. Eat shit, right.
Anyways, had all these great actors, had a great setting. Like 1940s Los Angeles, the height of the crime wave and all that kind of thing. And what did it come back with? A load of crap. Zombieland was good.
Zombieland is great. Don't
No.
derate
Okay,
Zombieland
fine.
because
It was very good.
And the reason he got Venom is on the basis of being able to blend different genres.
Blend
and different
genres,
tones
correct,
with
yeah.
Zombieland.
But the problem here is that it's not a case of blending genres. It's a case of he didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
He just didn't have a dicky bird about what he was doing. And you said this as well, is that, like, you know, when you have somebody like Tom Hardy, who is a very forthright actor and will really try to do something different, when he goes out on a limb, he needs the director to back him up. He needs the director to kind of show him, okay, right, we're going to frame this around you. We're going to couch this in context.
It's not even that. If you're going to really commit to a certain kind of performance, and you see Nicolas Cage doing that in so many movies,
Yeah.
it's very rare that the director
will reach out to meet him.
or be up to the challenge of, like, and that's not to say that Nicolas Cage is leagues above whoever.
Yeah.
But if you're making a very specific choice as an actor, that seems to be what the kind of thing Tom they didn't screen it before I interviewed him. But the kind of choice that Tom Hardy made, he was like, well, I'm going to treat this like I would any serious role. He's been nominated for Oscars. He's obviously very good at what he does. But the director needs to be up to
Needs to be up to the task, yeah. And, like,
to
don't get
protect them almost.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like, I mean, as he was saying, like, there were parts of this movie where he was playing it very, very straight, and even the direction of it, like how the scene was laid out and stuff, was done like a straight up horror movie. And then there were other parts of it that were, you didn't even know whether you were supposed to laugh or not. And I know it's sometimes, like, you know, you look at, like, M. Night Shyamalan, I think is quite good at doing that. Like, you look at something like The Visit. It's the kind of thing where it's like, I don't know if I'm meant to be scared or if I'm meant to be laughing at this, or is it meant to be nervous laughter? In this, I don't know. I don't think he knew what he wanted out of it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there is sometimes where directors will aim for ambiguity because that's the feeling that they want to convey. They want you to feel like, oh, should I?
Well, that makes sense for an anti-villain as well, right? Or an anti-hero. sorry.
Anti-hero, yeah, but not here though. That wasn't clear. Here, it just looked like he didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No,
I was
no,
just going to
just-
add. Yeah. I don't know if it was like maybe they didn't have enough pre-production on it and they didn't have enough discussions of exactly what direction they wanted to go in. But yeah, I totally agree with you in that it even felt like as they were shooting, he was deciding, oh, let's do this, let's do that, and what you end up is not an interesting combination, just this mix mash,
yeah.
mess.
And, like, you know, you can do 10 different takes of a scene, and, like, one could be funny, one can be endearing, one can be whatever. But, like, you can't stitch. When it stitches together, it has to look like there's a tapestry. It has to look like there's a flow to it, and there is no flow to this. And, like, you know, the fact that they dropped down from an R rating down to PG-15 or whatever it is.
PG-13. Well, they were
PG-13,
saying that it was always intended to be a PG-13.
I don't think so. I don't think. I mean, I know they've said that, and I would imagine there's an amount of trying to edit the narrative of the behind the scenes stuff, like to say, oh no, we intended this to be PG-13 all along.
We wanted to make a crap film.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what it just sounds like. And, like, the fact that, like, Tom Hardy came out and you're like, I know we're going to get to this in movie news, but he was saying, like, 40 minutes of the movie was taken out of it. Like, I don't think if the 40 minutes was left back in, I don't think it would have been a better film.
I read that.
And I don't think the R rating would have made it a better film either.
Yeah.
I don't think that 40 minutes thing is to be taken literally, because in the interview with Esquire, he said he was asked what his favourite bits were to perform, and he said, actually, it's all been taken out, about 40 minutes of it. So, not that the movie was 40 minutes longer, but it was all stuff he tried that they didn't put in. Okay, so it's not good.
Yeah, it's very poor.
I don't think producer Dave's going to break his 6-month hiatus of the cinema to go and see this one, producer Dave, are you?
6-month
Oh, we'll
hiatus.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last film
We'll
we went to
see.
see was Avengers
Oh
Infinity
my
War.
gosh.
In the cinema, like, do you
Yeah.
know,
Oh, okay.
like
So that
I've-
you haven't
yeah.
watched the
Yeah,
film
I
yeah.
have
for-
watched
Just
the odd
that
film.
just strikes me so like we go to the movies about twice or 3 times a week. So
Oh, yeah.
to hear that someone hasn't been to the cinema in 6 months just seems like such an alien concept to me.
What about popcorn? Do you have popcorn occasionally?
I don't eat popcorn.
I don't
myself.
eat popcorn either.
Oh,
I'm not a
God,
fan of
I'm
popcorn.
sorry, Dee.
Popcorn, big fan
I
of
love
popcorn.
popcorn.
I'm not a fan. I'm not
I
a fan.
have popcorn every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, Dee doesn't like sweet things. We
This
had
is
a
true.
bake off for charity for breast cancer awareness in the
I
office
won.
today, and everybody, you did not win. You did not. You went downstairs and bought,
His Mickadaves.
I
I call
was-
them Mickados, but they're Mickadaves.
I was the real winner.
and they
I
were
like
they were
the-
immediately disregarded by the judges. Like, you bought those.
They were disregarded, but then they were regarded not
that's
long
true.
after
Like,
for their presentation.
they have a cult following now. Anyway, Dee doesn't like sweet things. Everybody was mauling the
I had
mauling
some
the cakes.
flapjacks.
Yeah, they're not sweet though. I was like, you picked
They
the
are
healthiest
sweet.
thing. You picked the healthiest thing.
There is sugar in them.
And flapjacks,
Yeah.
just have a Mars bar.
Oh no.
No.
It depends on the flapjack, I'd say. I wouldn't particularly like cakes or sweets myself.
You can tell by what you baked, Dave. You can
Well,
tell.
What he
here.
didn't bake.
Yeah, right.
Didn't bake.
Wait a second. What did you bake, Brian?
I baked nothing, and I'll admit it. I went downstairs and I got apple pies. That's it. And I think they were eaten actually. Come to think of it, I think somebody ate them, but whatever.
Okay.
I just donated and ate things.
I just donated and ate some things also. Yeah, go team for a good cause.
Good hustle,
Looked like
good
there was loads
hustle.
of money there as well. So myself and you had already seen it, Dee, had you? Before the premiere on Friday. It was Brian, you came to the premiere on Friday of A Star Is Born.
Yes.
Before I get into this, and I want your take on it first, because you wrote the review for the site, and it's a 5-star review. I agree wholeheartedly with it. We generally know where each other is going to be sitting at screenings, Brian.
No, to be fair, I did not know you were going to be. Okay, go on. Yeah, tell the story.
No, you tell the story.
No, nothing. But just like I came in, it was like I waited right until the end, like right until the end, of like the beforehand thing. Bypassed the party, went straight into the cinema. Cinema was nearly empty. Staked out my spot, which is right next to the exit on the cinema aisle. Sat down.
I know the exact spot you're referring to.
Sat down, and then who's sitting in front of me? That lad right there. He was like, "Oh, hey." I was like, "How did I know you were going to be here?" So yeah, that was funny. And then, but then the other part of it was that this was the story. About halfway through,
Brilliant film.
Really enjoying it. Really loved it. Very, very well made film. We can talk about this later. My phone started going off. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like going off. I was like, just kind of like trying to turn it off, and then it kept going off repeated. I was like, "Oh crap, something's after happening now." And of course, you get that thing of like, "Oh Jesus, what is it?" Like, and then I opened it up. My car got broken into. Some little shitbag, who I hoped I would have loved to have caught in the act of doing it, broke into my car. Didn't steal anything. All they stole was like a leather sunglasses pouch thing. There was money in the car.
They thought there was sunglasses in it.
Probably, but like I mean,
So if people are
wasn't.
going to rob you now, they know that there's money in the car. Or
Well,
you
I mean,
keep
there
money
was
in the car.
well, there was like shrapnel in the car. I would say shrapnel.
Didn't
like,
root around enough. Where'd
I
you
don't
keep the money? Let's tell them. Let's just
it's
make it easy.
I'll tell you exactly where it is. It's in the center dash. Open it up. Change is in there. It's usually about like €3.
Do you not have a car alarm?
I do. It didn't fucking go off.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Maybe they stole it.
What, the car alarm?
Did
How
you
do you
check?
steal a car alarm?
With hands usually and tools.
Right, but now I mean that seems a bit
not
excessive.
usually.
Well, I mean that
Just
seems
run off
excessive.
as the car
does it
alarm
not?
was going off. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't. I presume the car alarm didn't go off or whatever.
So how much of the movie did you see?
I saw up until. I'll tell you where I saw up until. I saw up until the bit where they were at Dave Chappelle's house.
Okay.
And
That's about the halfway
That's
point.
about, yeah.
which was
I'd
about
say
the
so.
halfway point. That's literally where I saw when they're at Dave Chappelle's house. So that's as much as I'm able to discuss this movie. I can discuss one half of it. I can talk about, hey, you know that scene Dave Chappelle said? Amazing.
The car's broken into and I had to leave.
Yeah.
I was about 10 minutes into this and because I wasn't sure what to expect. I hadn't seen any of the other films. Not mentioned the Streisand, Chris Christopherson one. I found out afterwards how that one ended, which I should have looked at. I should have,
Same
realised.
with the Judy Garland
I know,
one.
I
Like,
know.
it's always the same
I know,
story.
but there's a certain impact to it when you don't know, I suppose, or more of an impact to it when you don't know. I was about 10 minutes into this and I was blown away by it. I was blown away by how well Bradley Cooper was able to not like it's very easy to pat directors on the back for shooting things a certain way or creating a certain kind of ambience. It felt so natural. The scene's basically Bradley Cooper coming off stage, cuts to Lady Gaga, it kind of gives her a little bit of backstory, and then how serendipitous they meet in this drag queen club. And that scene it's perfect.
It's so perfect.
It's perfect.
It's so perfect.
So were you from early on
Yeah.
because I didn't know if it was just going to be a musical. I had no idea, my ignorance. I was like, holy shit, this is good. 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
You had me from 10 minutes in.
Oh yeah, it had me from like 2 minutes in. Like even from when like Bradley Cooper is singing in that first scene and he has such a gorgeous voice and everything. Yeah, I totally agree with you in that it just blew me away how okay, I knew that the acting was going to be amazing, and it was, and I knew that the music was going to be gorgeous and take me on an emotional roller coaster, which it did. But the technical accomplishments in this are really, really extraordinary. I mean, I was talking to you about this, you know, before, but like he really surrounded himself with such a talented crew. Like this, it's the cinematographer that Darren Aronofsky works with.
Matthew Lubeck.
Yeah, and he would have done like Requiem for a Dream and Black Swan and everything. So his cinematography is really stunning. It's something else. It was the production designer who I can't remember the name of, but from The Great Gatsby. So, you know, these really, really talented crew members who have these incredible credits behind them working with Cooper to make this film extraordinary. And like you said, it's what I love as well about what Cooper does here is even though he has such a big job on his hands as director, directing this, making sure that it all fits just right and that the crew are able to kind of work at their maximum capacity, he also gives 100% to that character as well. And it's such a difficult character to play. Like, you know, you might look at it from the offset and from like the start and just be like, oh, well, he's playing a drunk. But there's such emotional complexity in that role. He has so many inner demons and he's able to portray that so beautifully and movingly. He's incredible in this.
Gaga's getting a lot of plaudits for it, which is fair because she's incredible in this as well.
Yeah.
And you don't want to undermine or negate her performance at all. She is fantastic.
Yeah.
When she sings in it, it's as spectacular as you'd expect
somebody
who's played the halftime Super Bowl show and sold millions and millions of albums to be. But this is really Bradley Cooper's movie.
Do you think?
He co-wrote it.
Oh yeah.
Directs it, produces it, and he sings in it.
Sure, but I mean, I think that's fair. I mean, he like his hands are all over. But I mean, in terms of on screen and what you see in the performance, I really do think it is a twin performance. And I think the performance that Gaga gives is so rich and textured, you know, that kind of way. Like there's a brilliant scene at the start of it where she comes into the house, her father's house, who's played by Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, hey,
brilliant.
He's
like
great in this.
You jumped up the hill, like
he's just so like, shit, it's him. It's amazing, and like. The way that she kind of interacts with that scene is brilliant. And it's a nothing scene. It's literally just her walking through the house, talking to her father's co-workers kind of thing. And she's just like running around the kitchen. And like that thing of it being so natural that you can't help but just be like, I've seen that happen before. Where it's like, who keeps leaving stuff in the kitchen? Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's so natural. Like, and that just brings, that kind of couches the emotional moments in it. Do you know, that sort of it gives it context. But, that scene at the start where they first meet and where she's singing La Vie en Rose, like go back and watch that scene and look at his face. It is so clear what's happening. Like it is just it's so crystallizing of that moment when you see somebody for the first time and it's just your face lights up and you can't hide it. Like, you know what I mean? It's really sweet. Like, and it's really like you can see somebody. It's love at first sight. Like. It's so obvious. It's so written on his face. You can't help it. Like, and it's the same with her as well. Like the two of them just eye to eye. Like, it's incredible. Like, I've never seen it done that sharply, that focused, that well. And like for Bradley Cooper to do this, to get even that scene, but the entire movie, to get that in his first film, holy shit, that is talent. That is serious.
I think this guy Jackson Maine as well, who he plays in it. Cooper had him a little different on previous incarnations. Just noticed from watching interviews that he had done where he'd said other incarnations have been guys on the wane. They've been on the way down. He's not. He's very much a modern, successful artist in that he's touring and selling out huge venues everywhere. But he mightn't be as relevant musically. And they kind of go into elements of that later on. But he's doing well, and he's still a superstar. And he'd be a very easy character to be a dick or to be, observed as being a dick. And there's a constant humility in Bradley Cooper's performance as well. That's heartbreaking. Where he doesn't have to say a huge amount, but he can give you little snippets. And the whole film is like that. I think you're dead right, even from that scene earlier on with Gaga and Andrew Dice Clay, that the film is littered with those moments and those characters. And even there's a couple of, which I just thought was a nice touch. There's two people who from Alias, which was one of Bradley Cooper's first serious role. And it was just, they're nice roles. And Bradley Cooper obviously
worked with them.
I
and knew
worked,
them.
but knew them, and it's like giving them a role in this. In this, you know, we knew it was going to be an Oscar contender or wherever.
Yeah.
But I was blown away by this. I was genuinely blown away by it. I thought it was incredible. Best film this year by a mile for me, and one of the best I've seen in a few years, certainly in terms of drama. And I think there might be an element. Sorry for interrupting you, Brian.
No.
And you might chime in here where people are going to be, it's a musical. Because that's what I thought. I genuinely thought it's not at all really. There's musical scenes in it. That's it, and they're all very organic because it's on stage.
Yeah.
But anyway, they shot Glastonbury, did all that stuff too.
Yeah.
So, where do you see this one? You know, because it's opening this weekend in America, and that's obviously the telltale sign about how it's going to do globally. You know, and the Oscars and all that stuff too. Do we see this one being a front runner for the Oscars?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, by a long
God,
shot.
yeah.
Yeah, for pretty much everything. Because like I said, it's not just the acting that it's incredible in, the directing as well, and the technical stuff. It's just all so like, it's like top of the range movie industry talent, you know? I mean, we were talking about this before, and like, I can't think of any movie off the top of my head that could rival it. There's like, First Man has been getting a lot of praise, and I'd almost wonder if it might be a matter of like one of the movies taking the director award and one of the movies taking the acting award. For example, like Cooper might win for directing and then Ryan Gosling would win for acting or something like that. But it could easily win both. But I have noticed that in more recent years with the Oscars, they seem to spread them out a little more. Yeah, exactly.
You've seen First Man, Brian.
I have, yeah.
How does it? Obviously, very, very different films.
Yeah, I mean they're completely different films. Like, I mean, First Man is a very much a cerebral, almost like a thriller, you know, that kind of way, and it's very, very serious, and it's very, I don't want to say negatively emotional, but like it's just
tense.
Yeah, it's tense. Yeah, whereas, you know, A Star Is Born is funny in parts, and it's really sweet and it's really romantic, and then it's really heartbreaking and sad. So there's much more wider, it's more crowd pleasing, I would say. A Star Is Born is a far more of a crowd pleaser than First Man is. I don't think it's a case of one is better than the other though. No, but Jesus, yeah, I mean, A Star Is Born, it's like very, very strong Oscar contender. Like, definitely I think Gaga for Best Actress. I think
Best song.
Best song, it's got it in it to a T. Best Actor nomination for Cooper. It'll be a 3-horse race between Gosling, Cooper, and probably Dick Cheney for Vice.
Christian Bale.
Yeah, that's a good
Or what did I
point.
say?
Yeah.
Christian Bale for Vice. Yeah, it'll be between the three of them, I think.
Christian Bale's never won the Best Actor. He won Best Supporting.
Yeah,
you
true.
won for The Fighter.
Yeah, for the fighter.
So that might, I think you're right there. That might be the trailer just dropped today. That might be the main competition, I think, for Bradley Cooper in acting or Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I wouldn't, you know, just to repeat what Dee said, I would not surprise me in the slightest if Cooper got Best Director for this.
Yeah.
I think that's
I
very
think
possible.
he deserves it. From everything I've seen so far this year, I think he absolutely deserves it. The trailer for Voice looks fantastic. Obviously, Adam McKay's won before.
Yeah.
And the casting, that's phenomenal too. That's not coming out until Christmas.
It won't be out here until February.
Yeah, well, that's kind of annoying when you do that.
Right,
Yeah, we get them very late. We kind of get
The awards ones.
Yeah, we kind of get the awards ones between now and kind of February, March, whereas in the States, they'd pretty much have them all kind of by Christmas.
And you know what the thing is? It's always like, it's not annoying, but like, it's a thing that happens. We get shown this is just letting you in on the secrets. We get shown all the awards movies like from November up until the end of the year, and then like they actually don't get released until like February or March. And
I remember seeing I, Tonya in like November or December last year and wasn't out till like February.
And then it's like,
last
oh crap,
year,
I gotta remember what that film was about. Yeah, I hate that. Yeah, so there you go.
Okay, so go and see it. Just
God,
go
yeah.
and see it. Go and see the second
Everyone
half
go
of it,
see
Brian.
it.
Oh no, yeah, no, God, no.
And don't leave your car parked on the street when you do.
No, God, no, 100%. Like
This and Tully you have to see, because you were saying your favourite films of the year so far, and I totally agree. Tully would be up there
this
for
Tully
me.
and Dublin Old School are my 3 favourites of the year so far. And we're only kind of coming into that part of the year where all the Oscars. I haven't seen First Man or Halloween or a lot of movies that I do want to see. But I really can't see anything touching
Topping
Star Is Born. Well, A Star Is Born, there's a very visceral, emotional response to A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
To the point that my girlfriend had to leave the cinema. She was
start
like,
crying,
everybody
See,
was.
it's just so, like, it's so genuine and so honest.
It's
It's
real.
never trite.
Yeah.
Never, you know?
That's it. It's incredible. Go and see it. And I'm super excited to see what Bradley Cooper does next. Ben Affleck did a phenomenal job with his first movie, Gone Baby Gone. Didn't get the plaudits he deserved off the bat. He was kind of on a slide at the time, and it was part of his career resurgence. I think Bradley Cooper has been getting the plaudits he deserves as a start. So at the very least, he deserves a heap of nominations for this across all categories. Okay, let's move on to some movie news. Commit this week. I like it.
I did. You
Committed.
see that?
Yeah.
Put the effort in. Shit, sorry.
And it was buzzing earlier, you know.
Go on, do it. You just go, boo! Boo! You were really quiet there. I was like, yeah.
I was listening. I haven't seen any of those.
What if
movies.
he needs to leave his phone on there in case somebody breaks into his car again?
Yeah, that's
Right?
true.
Yeah, there's
Right?
some other life emergency.
You know, could happen. It has happened. Never mind.
Turn the screen around so
sorry.
you're not looking at it, please.
Sorry, there we go.
Okay.
Thank you.
You tell him, D. You tell him.
I don't know if I'm more like a kind of like, you know, work wife figure or a teacher or what.
I think you have to be all those things and more when dealing with Brian Lloyd. Don't you?
Okay, first up, because we were just talking about Michelle Williams, there is a movie based on the Challenger disaster happening, and she's going to be playing Krista how do you pronounce it? McAuliffe. Thank you, Dave. Who was a teacher that had taken part in NASA's Teacher in Space program and was part of the Challenger crew that died on January 28th, 1986. The space shuttle, which was carrying 7 astronauts, including her, exploded 73 seconds after takeoff on live television. So it was an awful, horrific thing to happen. And the idea of it being brought to the big screen now is a bit like, ooh.
But I mean,
It's like, how are they going to...
How are they going to do it?
How are they going to handle that particular... Like, I understand it's probably going to be something similar to First Man, and that you'll have all the build-up and all the establishment and, you know, her character and her background and her family and all
She's
of that
a teacher,
stuff.
that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
She's the first teacher in space.
But I mean, how you're going to portray that particular moment, like, I just don't know.
I mean, the thing of it is that you can actually see the moment it happened because, like, it was all done live on television. This is the thing. Like,
7 people on the...
Yeah, 7 people on the Challenger space shuttle. It happened live on TV. People were just watching this, and then it just exploded. Like, and there was no way they could cut away from it. There was no way that they could edit it out or whatever. It happened live on television. So I think,
Imagine being in that command center when that...
like, and like if you watch
Because they spend years leading up to this stuff.
Yeah, and like you watch the like there's a CNN have a video of the actual day it happened, like as in the lead up to it and everything, and like the faces of the people in the command center, Capcom, when it happened, like it's the kind of thing that it'd stay with you. And the guy who's directing this is he did this film called Land of Mine, which is this really, really very, very unusual but brilliant World War II movie that Barry Keoghan, funnily enough.
I haven't heard of it.
It got a really small release here in Ireland, but Barry Keoghan, when I interviewed him for Dunkirk, he said, like, Land of Mine, I watched that movie and that was pretty much where I was kind of going with the performance, like, for Dunkirk. So yeah, that guy Martin Zandvliet, really interesting choice. Michelle Williams, she's such a good actress, like, so
She's incredible.
It's about time Michelle Williams has a leading role of density and, you know...
And this will be
and
it. Like.
I mean, obviously there's going to be a huge amount of expectation there. That lady's legacy has reverberated since then. There's lots of schools and stuff named after her, and Michelle Williams is a great actor. And she's, like we said with Venom, she's just been put in crap roles.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a money thing, or I don't know what it is, or she's just not getting the right offers. But
yeah, I mean, she like when I was interviewing her, because I've interviewed her for Manchester by the Sea, she was talking about how she is like very, you know, selective with the films that she picks, and she doesn't really do more than a movie a year. And there are some years where she doesn't do any movie at all. Now she has like had some incredible roles. Like I really do think that she was brilliant in My Week with Marilyn and Manchester by the Sea. My gosh, the emotional weight
she's
of
not
that
in
movie.
that much, but when she is,
She gives it 100%.
oh, it's another heartbreak, and it was like been emotionally kicked in the balls for 2 hours
Repeatedly, yes.
Which was why she was such an odd choice for Venom. Like,
I don't think she was an odd choice. I think
yeah.
she's just a name, and she adds, like, Tom Hardy adds density to,
of course,
and she adds
yeah.
density
That's
to it, you know?
I mean, that's what I would think got her on board was the fact that she was going to be opposite Tom Hardy. Because I mean, like when you're in the acting game, you know who are the talented actors and who you'd want to work opposite. So I'd imagine that was why she kind of went on board. And maybe she was like, you know what, feck it, I'll just try a superhero movie. And it didn't work out. But, you know.
So far.
Yeah.
They'll probably make $200 million this week, and then we'll be like, what do we know? The public have what they want. Okay, what else do you have for us, D?
Ansel Elgort. I'm putting this in because I love musicals. So
And
Ansel.
Ansel Elgort. Don't lie.
What?
And Ansel Elgort.
He's fine. Like,
Really? I thought he would have been right up your alley.
Like you're Michael B. Jordan, man.
Well, no, but like she likes the pretty boys. Like.
No, I've said I don't like boyish looking, like kiddie looking. Like Michael B. Jordan is a man.
Yeah, he's a man.
Okay.
See that Creed trailer running shirtless? Woo!
You should have seen.
I was like, good lord.
Yeah,
good
but like
lord.
you should have watched like Dee when she was watching that trailer for the first time.
We should have live shot that.
Like
That'd have been
literally
very
like
killer.
this. She was literally like this. She was like,
Fair enough. So that's a hunk of a human being.
Yeah.
But there is a Sylvester Stallone kind of link here somewhere, D, with movie news.
Oh wait, no. That's a separate item.
Okay, sorry.
Mike didn't read it before we went on air.
Before we went on air.
Okay, so Ansel Elgort has been cast in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. So this was announced at the start of the year. Essentially, Steven Spielberg is going back to the original hit Broadway musical West Side Story. Yes, as Brian is demonstrating the choreography
Thanks,
of now.
Brian.
It was previously, of course, brought to the big screen in 1961 in a hugely successful musical, which pretty much like swept the board when it came to the Oscars and everything. But yeah, this is the very first casting announcement that's been made for the film. Spielberg is teaming up with famed screenwriter Tony Kushner, who he worked with on Munich and Lincoln previously for the film. West Side Story producers have reportedly auditioned thousands of actors and dancers in New York, Los Angeles, Miami, and Puerto Rico for the film. So the dancing in this is going to be unreal. And I think that they're bringing in, I don't know if it's the original choreographer, but it is this like really, really famous choreographer. So yeah, dancing's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And filming for it will begin in the summer of 2019. So we'll still, I assume they'll be kind of bringing out news of other roles that are being cast kind of over the preceding months. But yeah, Ansel Elgort, who people will know from Baby Driver and The Fault in Our Stars, he's going to play Tony.
He's a charismatic young man.
yeah, he's big. He's a singer and like he's a musician and stuff. So yeah, he's a perfect choice for it. Yeah. I'd be interested to see though what are they going to do with it? Like, insofar as is it going to be modern or is it going to be, set in the 40s or 50s or whatever? Like,
I don't know.
yeah, it'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Spielberg's kind of a traditionalist like that, though.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
But then again, like, I mean, why would you just remake it if you're gonna set it in the same time period as the original was?
Because he's Steven Spielberg and he'll do what he goddamn wants.
But the other thing is, like, that's part of West Side Story. I mean, otherwise he might as well, like, say, go to Romeo and Juliet and put that in a modern setting.
True.
Like, the whole thing about West Side Story is it is that 1950s setting, and that's why you have that kind of
Every time we say
cultural war going
1957,
on.
Brian does that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you
I really did love West Side Story. I really love
Yeah.
that. It's really cool.
Okay.
And now we get to
And
now we
now
get
we're
to
getting
the,
on to Sylvester
the
Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone. I was like, segue, and he was like, nope.
So last but not least, Sylvester Stallone has shared some first images from the set of Rambo 5, and we might like cut to some of those as long as we put the little
He looks
copyright thing and
ridiculous.
stuff.
I'm sorry, he
Yeah.
looks ridiculous.
So this film will be set on the Mexican border and sees John Rambo, these are Brian's words by the way, still retired from all the killing he did in the 80s for America, trying to eke
Eke out an existence.
an existence as a rancher when his friend's daughter is kidnapped by the Mexican cartel. Naturally enough, that ticks off John Rambo, and he's got this is Brian's words. And he's got to you have a typo here. He's got to on a kill crazy rampage to get her back.
Got to go on a killer.
Well, I guess you'll have to correct that in the article, Brian.
All right. Thanks. Cheers.
Stallone is also directing this one alongside Adrian Grunberg. So there you go.
He's co-directing it.
He's co-directing it. Yeah, Adrian Grunberg. He's like more known as a first AD than anything else.
Okay.
But he directed. Adrian Grunberg did. Remember the one Get the Gringo, that Mel Gibson one?
Yeah.
He did that, and he worked with like Gibson a bunch. Like he was the first AD in Apocalypto.
First ADs are the most important person on the
Exactly.
They tell you they're the most
Yeah.
important person on the set.
Exactly, yeah. And like that's not common. Like I mean, like for Stallone did that with like I think it was Rambo First Blood Part 2. He had that guy George Cosmatos, who did like Cobra and he did Tombstone. He was the director on the day, but really Stallone would hand him a shot list and say, "Okay, just put the camera there, and you call action." But that's what I want, like you know. And actually, funny enough, you know George Cosmatos, that guy that I was talking about, his son is the guy that directed Mandy, Panos Cosmatos.
Really?
There you go.
Wow, there you go.
Interesting.
You're more of the Wikipedia. I love it.
There you go.
So are we looking forward to this?
Oh
Rambo?
God,
No.
no.
What about you, producer Dave? I'd like your hot take on Rambo.
I've only seen the first two,
Yeah.
but I quite enjoy them as spectacles.
Yeah,
Chewing
right.
gum for the eyes, like.
Yeah, it's like pure 80s.
But like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with you there. Well, like I mean,
I wouldn't say I love them, but they're grand.
But the first one is very good. The first one is really good. Like I'm talking about the one that with Brian Dennehy.
Oh yeah.
And he's
The
running.
first one is like
It's
a
real
drama.
It's a drama
Yeah.
almost. Yeah, like it's very full
Well, they did that
on.
with
The
Rocky
second
as well.
one's really good as well.
The second one, no, the second one's
I
brilliant.
mean, it kind of turns it into an action genre as
Completely.
opposed to a drama, you know, character
Well,
study
it was
or
coming
whatever,
into the
you know?
mid 80s then,
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah,
it? Where they
yeah.
were, let's blow some shit up. Ronald
Yeah.
Reagan's in charge.
Like like Oliver Stone and James Cameron wrote the script and they were like high as kites on coke. Just so then he's got like so he like ties on a thing and then he like he's got an arrow but it's a missile. Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, okay, right, write it, and it's just that's you can just smell the cocaine off Rambo First Blood.
You're going to get some letters.
Totally. Really, Oliver Stone in my case was like, I was never on cocaine.
This
Like
is,
Brian's not here with us this week
Yeah.
because he is currently being sued.
yeah, we should just be like this. The opinions expressed here by Brian M. Lloyd are not those of Mike Sheridan or Deirdre Malumbi, nor producer Dave. So it's all on you, Brian.
Oh, but I mean, you know what? It'd be great though. I'd get to meet Oliver Stone and James Cameron. Those two
You
guys.
be in the court like,
I can't believe it, man! I love Terminator 2. Ollie Stone, JFK, a great movie. I don't care what anybody says. It was fantastic. And Nixon, I love Nixon.
That's the best compliment you can give somebody when you compliment the movie and go, I don't care what anybody says. I think you're all right.
Yeah, I don't give
What do people say?
I love
What are
that.
people
That's
saying?
Listen, I believe you, but thousands wouldn't. What do you mean? What? Yeah, so there you go.
Okay, so that's it for movie news this week. Brian's hastily thought up revisit. Once again, I noticed you've just stopped asking. He's given up. Whereas, what are we?
It's just such a
No,
shame
you-
because I really
you
like
know.
watching
I
the
know you do.
revisit movie
Yeah.
the weekend before
Yeah.
we record.
But, okay, but you weren't here last week.
Could have texted me.
I could have.
I like WhatsApp.
Okay, yeah, no, I could have. Yeah, that's fair. I could have.
You could have communicated with your cellular phone.
That is correct. I could have communicated with my cellular phone and I didn't, and for that I apologise.
Because you didn't think of it till I said it to you this morning.
That is correct. That is correct. I will not lie.
Have you ever thought about getting an assistant? You get somebody on, like an intern or something like that. If you get some nerds.
We have
that
an
likes your-
intern outside, don't we?
Yeah, but you can't get him to follow you around. You know, but get yourself
He's
one.
an intern, like.
Just be like, take some young whippersnapper under your wing
Oh,
and be like,
Jesus,
this is how movie reviews happen, kid.
It'd be like
this is the business.
It'd be like the kid from a phone booth that follows around Colin Farrell. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay you someday.
He like that pays people off when you say libelous things about them. He's sorry. Here's a
So that's perfectly appropriate given what we were just talking
yeah,
about.
exactly, right?
yeah, that could work. Yeah, that could work. No, well, the revisit, it's a really good movie, and like it was, we actually got a comment in on Twitter about why we haven't revisited this movie yet. So I was like, okay, well, that's actually a good segue. We'll revisit that for this week. I'm talking about Heathers. Have you seen Heathers?
I have, but it was many a year ago.
Me too.
Me too. So Heathers
What?
is what?
The whole point is you watch it again.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
We're like, we haven't seen this in ages.
No,
let's
It's
deep
not
dive in
the-
this film. We
it's
can barely
not
remember.
The visit.
Yeah.
It's the revisit.
Revisit. Actually, hey, Dave O'Regan, have you seen the Heathers?
Can you do this now, Dave?
What is Heathers?
Well-
I think I might have.
Wait,
it
but
definitely
like
rings a bell.
Winona
Christian
Ryder,
Slater and
Kristen
Winona
Slater.
No, not the band. Not the band. Although they did take their name from Heathers.
That's an interesting tidbit. No, I have no idea what you're
You've
talking
not seen
about.
it. Well, Dave O'Regan is actually, I would say, more in common. Is the more common party in this because Heathers is very much a cult film. It's very, very much has a very singular audience. you know, when you talk about it, I mean, usually when people say, "Oh, I love Heathers," you can tell that they're really, really into movies because it was never on TV that much.
It's almost becoming like a bit of a cliche.
It is a
or
bit,
something.
isn't
a
it?
bit.
It is
you
a
know?
bit, yeah, it is a bit. But
It's always like Heathers crossed with
yeah,
something
exactly.
else for
Yeah,
Oscar.
Like,
exactly.
what was that
yeah,
movie
yeah.
that you saw that Anton Yelchin was in? The one where
Ooh, Thoroughbreds.
Thoroughbreds, like, but literally on the poster was it's Heathers meets American
Yeah,
Psycho.
they use that a lot.
Exactly. And like, I mean, it's become a byword for sort of like quirky, dark comedy. And you watch it and it absolutely is 100% a quirky black comedy that's so messed up and just would absolutely never in a million years be made nowadays because it's about school shootings. It's about teenage suicide.
This was like 1989.
Yeah, 1988.
It's quite satirical.
Oh,
Yeah.
very satirical. It's so satirical. Like, it's just like it's nearly Paul Verhoeven levels of satire. Like, I'm talking Starship Troopers on the nose to the point that you're not even sure if you should be laughing or not. But it's brilliant. Yeah, Winona Ryder. I mean, this was really at the cusp of her stardom, and you can just tell by watching this movie that she was gonna be huge. Like she had that real caustic humor and that real sense of just absolutely did not give a crap, which I think is something that 80s movies had in spades, but has never really been, I think, effectively replicated nowadays. I don't think. I think when you kind of see that cynicism that was so prevalent in 80s teen comedies, like the one that you love.
Say anything.
No, not Say Anything. The other one, Man on Fire. Oh, Man in Motion.
Saint
Elmo's Fire. Yeah, Saint Elmo's Fire.
That's not even a
You
little
did the
close.
name of this. Brian did the name of this song.
was getting
from
there.
St. Elmo's. John Parr.
That guy.
I can feel it. That film with it's called St. Elmo's Fire. What's the film called?
Anyways, but when you go back, but like St. Elmo's Fire had a really cynical bite to it.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Breakfast Club had a really cynical bite to it, and the same with Heathers as well. It was just very, very, very cynical. But very,
Heathers
very...
was darker than
Oh
those.
God, yeah, no, God, completely. But I'm
There's no
saying
John Hughes there.
Oh no,
No.
Jesus, not at all. But no, really, really strong performances from Christian Slater and from Winona Ryder. Winona Ryder, though, I think ran away with this movie. It has become her calling card. Like, I mean, when you talk about films that she was in, it's Edward Scissorhand, it was this, it was maybe Girl Interrupted, but Heathers is always on the list. Christian Slater, again, I don't think.
He's doing a Jack Nicholson impression.
Yeah, exactly.
But I really like Mr. Robot. Or 2 seasons, and I need to rewatch.
Yeah,
it again
I need to watch the
to
third.
go back into the third.
Yeah.
But he's got such kind of Weasley presence.
Yeah.
It's hard to put your finger
Yeah.
on. But early on in his career, he was very much doing Jack Nicholson.
Of course, yeah. Like even like something like Young Guns.
Yeah.
He was just kind of playing. It was almost like imagine what Jack Nicholson would be like in a western.
Is it
Doop,
mad that
there
you
go.
forget that Christian Slater was in Robin Hood? I completely forget.
Yeah, Will Scarlet.
yeah.
Prince of Thieves.
That's right.
Will
Yeah.
Scarlet. I love.
It's a small
Robin
enough
Hood.
role.
Thieves.
Actually, no, he is in it a good bit.
He is.
Yeah,
he,
you just
he
forget.
plays his brother. He plays Kevin Costner's brother,
Yeah.
which was hilarious because they were the only 2 actors in it that had American accents. And it's like, and wouldn't you know it, they're brothers?
Yeah,
There
I'd
you
say
go.
Kevin Costner's like, I'm not going to do an accent Christian. Don't even try. We're going full yank for this one.
I love this, but I've always loved Robin Hood primarily because like it would not be a better film if Kevin Costner was trying to put on that accent. In fairness, and like Alan Rickman was so English in that
he's
movie.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What
That
a
you-
fantastic actor Alan Rickman
Like,
was.
yeah.
He's just so much fun to watch.
I'm
dude.
gonna
know.
get your heart out with a spoon. Why a spoon? Because it will hurt more.
Do your ears hurt more after that? Or
I was away
no,
from
I
it,
was
yeah.
grand. He
No,
was
no,
quite
no, the
considerate
line-
there.
I have to correct you on that line.
Oh.
It's because it's blunt, you idiot.
It will hurt more.
Because he's supposed to be the quote master.
Yeah.
I'm very, very tired.
Supposed to be.
I'm very, very tired.
Yeah, you remember and forget very strange.
I know. That's what I'm saying. My
You've a
brain.
weird-
At
no
random, like.
Yeah, there's no correlation in things I remember and forget. You're like verbatim hitting quotes amazing. I'm like, holy, that's incredible. Then you like forget you're in work.
Yeah, that
You're like,
happens.
oh shit, what day was I in today?
Yeah, that will happen. Yeah, no, like my brain is not firing on full cylinders today. Like I would have gotten that quote verbatim.
Okay, so that hastily.
I thought that was a good.
I mean, it was more of an outline of Heathers and it coming out, and than actual
actual
the actual
revisiting.
point, because Brian is starting a new podcast.
Yes.
called A Revisit.
Yes.
I really like, again, I've mentioned this before, I listened to the pilot, really like this, and I think all the guys in the office are probably going to be involved at certain points too, and some celebrities, Brian, M. Lloyd.
Yeah.
But the whole point is you rewatch the thing.
Yes.
We maybe even producer Dave, we rewatched the thing.
Yeah.
So can we do that next week? I know. Why am I asking? I know Dee's up for it. Why
Yeah.
am I asking?
Hand it over to D. Yeah, sure.
Are you up for watching something over the weekend, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay, what do we want to watch?
We have had a request to, I think it was in the same thing actually, about Heathers, that we look back on the ones. Remember, we did, like, this might have been like a couple of months ago, but it was certainly a few weeks ago at least at this point. Remember, we asked people to like send in a bunch of whatchamacallit? Suggestions, and that we were going to get through them.
Okay.
Oh, I remember one actually off the top of my head, because it was one I actually do want to go see, and that is the Gina Davis movie. I think it's called A League of Their Own.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Is it that?
It's a good shout.
That's a great.
That's a
shout.
really good shout.
Yeah.
Sports.
Sports.
He's so excited. The
Oh,
sports.
yeah,
Yeah.
so glad I
Sports.
mentioned it. Yay.
Yeah. Oh, and I can tell my Penny Marshall story as well. Yeah, that'll be good.
Oh, well, there
You
you go.
don't tell that story.
Why?
You told another director that story over the phone as well.
No,
You shouldn't have. I was listening to Brian do his in conversation. I know it's really annoying when people say a thing but don't really say a thing when you're listening or watching a podcast or whatever. But Brian told Michelle McLaren that story. He's like, you know what?
But like,
I was like, Brian, what are you?
to be fair, it was ridiculous. Like, it was ridiculous.
You know what's
just
the
say it
most
now.
ridiculous phone conversation I've ever kind of heard Brian talking? I know that was the one with
It's eyes. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was wide.
the one with
Right.
Marisa Tomei, because he was so smiley and so laughy during it, and he was trying so hard to flirt. It was kind of adorable. And then he said afterwards, "Oh no, she was flirting with me."
She so was.
Yeah, okay.
Man, I'm telling you, she was. Okay.
And she's a bit older, you know how he likes them like that.
Yeah.
She's
I mean,
too young for him though. Still.
Oh no. She's right at the perfect time.
Tell your Penny Marshall story now. Just tell it.
Okay, right. So basically, the story with Penny Marshall was
Who's
that
Penny Marshall?
Penny Marshall is the director of A League of Their Own. Very,
Okay.
very well known director.
So we're not saying
not
we're
that
gonna
well
see-
known.
No,
No, may as well
just
just
saying
get
we
it
just
out.
teased it, so I know
fair
it.
enough.
Get it up now. So yeah, basically the story was I was doing this series of interviews called In Conversation, and we had like John Carpenter, John Landis, Richard Donner, Lauren Schuler Donner. We had Michelle.
Brilliant
McLaren on.
series. Yeah.
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 Hopefully bringing it back if we can get a big name. Hopefully, I think I'm kind of on the cusp. Anyways, one of the
Exciting.
names.
Watch this space.
One of the names that I really wanted to talk to, and it was actually Fiona Flynn who suggested, because she was like, "There's just all men in this. You need to get a woman director."
You also told Michelle McLaren that.
Anyways, I said immediately.
You know what? We needed a woman. How are you?
Anywho,
That's how I ended up here.
you're the token female, dude. Let's just embrace the fact you're the token female here, okay? Anyways,
He told me. That's why I'm here.
the story was that we said, look, we should talk to Penny Marshall because she just has a great filmography and everything like that. It was really good. And tracked down her lawyer, tracked down her manager, eventually got to her people, I guess, and she wanted money.
Oh,
She wanted money. She
That
wanted-
happens a lot.
I didn't realize. You see,
Yeah.
I know you do a lot more interviews than I do.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
try to.
I know, but I know I'm saying sometimes it is a thing that you have to pay for.
I mean, I understand it to a certain degree, because if somebody's not promoting something, that's generally why people would do in interviews.
Of
that they're
course,
promoting
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And if it's an inconvenience, I mean, a lot of the times it's legends like John Carpenter and Richard Donner and
Yeah.
like Penny Marshall's in that equation as well.
God, yeah.
Rob Reiner would be a great one for you to talk
I
to.
know.
But there's a lot of that. And if they're not promoting a thing, then
You're encroaching on their
but you
personal
know, I'd
time.
say what I would say happened there is I'd say that wasn't even brought to her. You
I would
know,
think, yeah.
I would say that was just like, unless you have a fee, because I've had that when I've gone to. I mean, I tentatively call them Irish celebrities. Like it's not, you know, they're looking for a fee to do an interview, which is totally like, okay, that's fair enough. But
Goodbye.
no, it's. We don't do it. I want to have conversations with people if you're interested in having a conversation. And
Yeah.
I get asked to do interviews the odd time as well. You know, I don't have anything to promote except myself. Ha! To delve, like and subscribe.
I knew it. I knew you were going to fit it in there. I knew it.
Producer Dave produces the delve as well.
I knew it.
And producer Dave.
Can
What time does it go out? Sorry, Dave. What time does it go out on Classic Hits 4FM?
Sunday nights, 10 p.m.
Producer Dave and Mike.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Check
To
it
ask for Jimmy.
Go on, Dee,
Oh,
sorry.
can I do a mini plug here?
You can.
Tweet at the Filum Show. That's TheFilumShow, because it's been a bit quiet lately, and I do like reading your tweets and then reading them out on the show.
Send Dee some tweets. Not creepy ones. Okay.
Yeah, don't make it creepy.
That's it for this week. We'll see you next week.
No, we made it creepy.
Are you back? Are you back next week, producer Dave?
Yeah, bye.
Yes.
Hey!